All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to dive into solving equations that have variables on both sides. So what you should do is make sure you have this note packet out and you jump to this part where it's solving equations with variables on both sides. And really, they're not that bad. It's pretty easy. Let me show you some examples here. So let's say we have this example here. We got negative 2x plus 1 equals 3x plus 16. There are variables on both sides because there's x's on both sides. And the way to deal with that is make it so there's not variables on both sides anymore. It's really quick. You can choose what side you want your variables to be on. On this example, they chose to get rid of the negative 2x on the left and put it on the right side. And you can't just like carry it over. You have to do the opposite. So the opposite of a negative 2x is a positive 2x. We're going to add 2x to both sides of the equation. And 3x plus 2x gives you 5x. And now there's this 1 left over on the left side. There is a 16 that needs to be get rid of. Once you do that, once you move all your variables to one side, this turns into just a two-step equation. You need to get rid of the 5, you need to get rid of the 16. The 16 is farther from the variable, so you subtract it off. And then you'll get negative 15 equals 5x. And you just divide by 5, and you get negative 3 there. Okay, lots of examples of that. If you jump over this one, it's got a 3n on the left and a 2n on the right. You want those variables together. And this time they chose to put the variables on the left side or take out the variables on the right. So you take out a positive 2n by subtracting 2n. And make sure you do it on both sides of your equation. 3n minus 2n is just n. And actually, this equation is only one step now. You got to get rid of the 9. You just add 9. And we've been doing that for a while. Be able to solve those easier equations. Okay, this example here. It's got an 8y on the left and a negative 3y on the right. They chose to get rid of the variables on the right by adding 3y, which is the opposite of a negative 3y. So you add it on the right, add it on the left, and now it turns into an equation like this. 11y minus 9 is 2. That is a two-step equation. You add the 9, you divide by 11, voila, answer. Another example. This one here, it's got negative 4x on the left, a positive x on the right. This time they chose to get rid of the variable on the left. You can choose which side you want your variables to end up being. So they got rid of it on the left by adding 4x. Add it on the right side too. Now you get this equation. This is, again, a two-step equation. Get rid of the number that's farthest from the x first, the 18. Then get rid of the number next to x, which is the 5. So you subtract 18, you divide by 5, and that gives you your answer. So let's jump to these at the bottom here. Okay, I'll show you an example here. Again, you can choose what side you want your variable to be on. Let's say I want all my variables on the left side, so I'm going to keep this on the left. I'm going to get rid of it on the right. So the opposite of a positive 6v is a negative 6v, so I'm going to subtract 6v. What I do on one side of my equation, I got to do on the other side. And that's going to give me, a v minus 6v gives me negative 5v. It still has the plus 8. And the right side still has this 13, and it's positive, so we'll keep that there. Now I need to get rid of these two numbers over here. We got negative 5 and 8. The 8 is farther away. It's the last thing that happened on the left side, so we're going to subtract it off. Because the opposite of add is subtract. Subtract 8 on the other side too. Now we got negative 5v equals, that's just 5. Nice. Now I need to get rid of this negative 5 in front of my v by dividing by it, because it is currently negative 5 times v, so you get rid of it by dividing by negative 5. And now we're looking at v is negative 1. Answer, v is negative 1. Nice. Okay, what I'd like for you to do, jump to the next one, pause the video, and see if you can finish solving the equation. All right, so something that's a little tricky about this one is there's a p here, and here, and here. So it's a little bit tricky here. What I recommend is just put these guys together first, then you can worry about moving things around. So I'm going to do that. Minus 5p. These can go together. P minus 7p gives me negative 6p. So now I have an equation here. It still has variables on both sides. I could choose to put all my variables on the right by adding 6p, but you don't have to do that. Instead, you can put all your variables on the left side. So I see my a negative 5p. I'm going to add 5p on both sides. And so I can just get all my variables on the left. That gives me negative 1p equals 3. And you do have to get rid of this negative in front, so we're going to divide by negative 1. And now I got p is negative 3. Answer. If you got that before seeing the answer, congratulations. Let's jump over here to the next one. Again, pause the video, see if you can solve it. This one doesn't even have a tricky thing about it, but give it a shot. Good luck. All right, so this time I'm going to choose to put all my variables on the right side. So I'm going to subtract 6x on both sides. You could have put all the variables on the left, and that's okay. You'll get the same answer. So I'm going to do that. I got negative 7 equals negative 5x minus 7. And now I need to get my x by itself. I need to get rid of the negative 5 and the subtract 7. This is farther away, so I'm going to add 7 first. And now I got negative 5x, and I got this. Negative 7 plus 7 is a number. It is 0, and you need to be okay that an equation can equal 0. It's totally fine. It happens regularly. Please don't forget that it can be there. And so this does not just turn into negative 5x. That is not an answer. It's still an equation. It equals 0. So please, when you get something like this, put a 0. It's okay. And now, we need to get rid of that negative 5. Again, you can divide by the number in front to get rid of it. And now we got x is 0. 0 divided by negative 5 is still 0. Awesome. X is 0. And that brings us to our last one here. And I want to give you a chance to try and solve it. Go ahead and try solving. All right, this time, I'm going to put the variables on the right side again, because I can. So I'm going to move my 5n, get rid of it on the left by subtracting on both sides. Now I got 3n minus 3 on the right. I got 15 on the left. Over here on the right side, I need to get rid of both of those 3's. This is farther away, so I'm going to add it first. Farther away from my variable. So I got 3n. Left side, I got 18. Now I'm going to divide by 3. Divide by 3. N equals 6. Problem solved. So there we go. If there's variables on both sides, make it so there's variables on only one side by subtracting or adding on both sides whatever number. You can add a 2x, you can subtract a 2n, you can add a 4x, you can add a 3y, you can subtract a 6v. There's lots of options on how you go about solving it, but you do have to pick a side for your variables and put them all on that side. So there you go. Go forth, conquer the variables on both sides, practice.